Let's talk about it. As Medicaid waivers shrink, we're in a very challenging time with what's happening at the government level. How are you staying afloat and just staying creative? Is there anything that you guys have to pivot to make sure that you weren't losing anything on the back end?
Well, I think you always have to stand on the wall of advocacy when you're in this particular space. In Alaska, we're structured a little bit differently than some other states. So at this moment in time, Medicaid is okay. And Medicaid is a mandated service, so even with a government shutdown, we will be okay. But I think the challenge is that many families don't want to go through all the hoops to get the level of funding, but they still need the support. So we're always looking for creative ways to support people without necessarily having to do the Medicaid path. Looking for grants, looking for opportunities. And this summer, we were able to provide some scholarships for kids to come to camp without the traditional funding, and they just had so much joy and so much opportunity to connect with others. And that's where philanthropic dollars can be so beneficial.
How big is the organization for those that may not really understand how it's a huge organization? I think you have, is it 14 assisted livings, or is that where you started? I can't remember.
Well, that was early on. Yeah, we have 70, I think, across the state.
Wow, statewide, right?
Yeah, we're in 6 regions of the state. We employ about, well, it varies, depending on the week, between 450 and 500 people, and support about that many as well.
Wow. What do you think got you guys there? Just consistency? Just what did it take? A good team?
Well, I think if you're doing good work, we started in Anchorage. We didn't go into any region of the state until we were invited. So a family might hear, I hear Hope's doing some good things, and they invited us to come into the region. And that's how we've grown. I think if you provide good service, and I think that there's changing trajectories. Some people don't like the big, organizations, and they're looking at smaller providers. But I think that there is a lot of safety and security in a larger provider. And we're going to be here. We've been here for 56 years. We're going to continue on, whereas maybe a small provider eventually may retire. But if you have an organization that has a culture, and you keep teaching that culture to the next generation, then it extends on for decades.
You'll be there for life. What does a day-to-day look like? Services, programs, when someone walks into the organization?
It's so individual. So we provide a variety of programs. We have residential support. So somebody says, hey, I want to have my own home. I want to move out of my parents' home. But what does that look like for you? Is that an individual apartment? Is that shared living in an apartment or a single family home? Somebody says, hey, I just want to get out in the community. I want to stay with my parents, or I've already got residential supports, what I need, but I want to come to the studio because I think that's really cool. So we have recreation programs, we have the studio, we have behavioral health supports. We support a number of people that are on the autism spectrum. We have a mental health clinic for those that need that level of support, and that's open to the community, but it's heavily supporting people that are dually diagnosed. So people that have mental health challenges and maybe also have an intellectual disability. Then we have intentional communities. So we've had parent groups that have come together and said, I want to know where my kid's going to live after I die. And we've developed a beautiful intentional community in the Kenai Peninsula. And then north of Anchorage, we have what's called the Willow Ranch. 4 men live up there, and they basically live off the land. And they have animals, and they're embedded into the community. And they live the life that they want to live because they wanted to live a rural lifestyle. They didn't want to be in urban Anchorage. So it's really listening to the person and saying, what does support look like for you? And then coming up with a plan to design that for them.
I love it. Meeting them at where they're at, what you would say?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked a little bit earlier, as you continue to scale and grow, we talked about a little bit of AI. You mentioned, hey, good job on the note-taking. And I had to say, no, it wasn't me. It was a little AI. We had a note-taker on a discovery call. But where does AI playing a factor now as you guys continue to grow? Is that something that you guys are kind of, maybe dipping your toe in? Do you see a benefit on AI as you continue to grow and move into even more counties?
Yeah, well, I think that AI can provide, a lot of systems things within an organization just to make, for instance, you create a new job and you have AI design the job description. I mean, it just cuts down the work that you might personally invest and get a draft. Now, we have touched our toe several times in just smart homes. So that's AI in a different kind of way for people with a disability to be able to live as independently as possible without dependency on staff. So I think technology is our friend if we use it well.